Well, don't worry, kids. Santa will be here soon with some new toys, and it's all thanks to Joe Biden.
As the New York Times said today, Christmas gifts are arriving on time this year. Good news, we've saved Christmas, and that is because President Biden recognized this challenge early, acted as an honest broker to bring key stakeholders together, and focused on addressing practical problems across the global supply chain.
So Joe Biden saved Christmas, huh? Actually, the supply chain is still having major issues, and the only reason that things are getting on store shelves is because of private industry's innovations, not the government.
In this present crisis, government is not the solution to our problem. Government is the problem.
So old Joe thinks that him and the government saved Christmas, and in his mental state, I'm sure that he's looking forward to Santa coming this weekend and bringing him some new crossword puzzles to work on. Someone who is trying to ruin Christmas, however, again, is Dr. Fauci, who just announced that people should disinvite their unvaccinated relatives and make them stay at home and eat a microwave dinner by themselves instead.
If someone in your family isn't vaccinated, should you ask them not to show up?
Yes, I would do that. I mean, I think we're dealing with a serious enough situation right now that if there's an unvaccinated person, I would say, I'm very sorry, but not this time.
If you think that's excessive, meet Dr. Denise DeWald, a Twitter doctor, and another wannabe Sanjay Gupta, who tweeted, quote, "The only surefire strategy to avoid getting infected is to not meet up with other people. Give the virus no opportunity. If you must mingle with other people, wear a tight-fitting mask, preferable an N95 or better, and don't take it off inside, even when alone." I know that sounds like a writer for the Babylon Bee, but a thorough inspection of their Twitter feed indicates that they are serious. Bill Gates announced that he's canceling his Christmas plans supposedly because of Omicron, but I think what's really happening here is since his wife left him, Jeffrey Epstein's dead, and Ghislaine Maxwell's in jail, he doesn't have anybody to spend it with. Of course, Bill Gates is a retired computer programmer, not a doctor of any kind, but he still feels that he needs to dispense supposed medical advice, and he is now saying that the worst part of the pandemic is still ahead of us. And why is his wealth increased by 1/3 since the pandemic began, despite him supposedly pledging to give away all of his money to charity since he retired from Microsoft? Jim Acosta is celebrating Christmas, however, maskless, of course. He flew down to CNN's headquarters in Atlanta to celebrate with all the producers and the writers who make his show possible. And despite Atlanta being over 50% black, they don't allow a single one to work on his show. He also hasn't responded to questions about why his card features a picture of the Fox News Christmas tree, the one that was outside of the Fox News headquarters in New York that some psycho burnt down. And I'm sure you heard on Tuesday, old Joe addressed the nation about Omicron, something that I'm not allowed to give my analysis on at this point, otherwise YouTube will take this video down for me committing a thought crime. I'll just have to wait until it's so obvious that they change the rules again, just like they did after it became obvious that the coronavirus leaked from the Wuhan lab. Let's not forget, until fairly recently, just saying that on any of the big tech platforms was a violation of their terms of service. But I'm not the only one that has to bite my tongue so I don't get into trouble. Poor Joe Biden himself isn't even supposed to be talking to the media at all.
To the child care tax credit. But I'm not supposed to be having this press conference.
The supposed most powerful man in the world is being told by his caretakers who he can and cannot talk to.
I'm not supposed to be having this press conference.
And that's why CNN wants Fox News banned from the White House press corps, just in case old Joe accidentally calls on Peter Doocy again.
Why should they even be able to take part in a legitimate press briefing, in legitimate journalism?
Sadly, old Joe sounded like he had Omicron during his address about it.
People are very eager to get their booster. Where it's harder to get an appointment. Excuse me. We've opened FEMA vaccination sites in Washington State.
I wouldn't be surprised if he got a breakthrough case since so many politicians in D.C. have been coming down with COVID this week. And if he does, I'm sure that they're going to do everything that they can to cover it up, because it sure would look embarrassing when the guy who claimed that he was going to shut down the virus got infected by it. But many in the media can't figure out why nobody likes old Joe.
I have to confess, I find Joe Biden's unpopularity puzzling. He's rounding out his first year in the White House with the lowest end of first year approval ratings of any elected president in modern times, with the exception of Donald Trump.
Well, I'm sure it has nothing to do with trying to force businesses to fire employees who don't want to take the vaccine, or bringing back mask mandates, the Afghanistan debacle, the crime wave that's sweeping across the country, inflation, or just plain embarrassing America on the world stage.
Come on, man.
Something that is gaining in popularity, however, is the Let's Go Brandon phenomena, and a man in Sarasota, Florida is being threatened with a $150 a day fine by his homeowners association because he put up this Let's Go Brandon Christmas display. This is a perfect example of why living in a neighborhood that's part of an HOA is often a terrible idea, because they could literally dictate how you decorate your own home. This guy, by the way, his name is Martin Hyde, is running for Congress down there in Florida, and recently showed up to a school board meeting, which everyone should be doing on a regular basis, and concluded his speech by doing this.
We've had enough of you and your president, so let's go, Brandon.
While your message is on point, sir, you should have used one of my shirts, because, no offense, yours looks a little plain. So order it from my online store at markdice.com or click the link in the description below. Or if that's not your style, order a F. Joe Biden, want to buy a vowel shirt, and a Rest Dr. Fauci shirt, or any of my awesome designs. All available in a t-shirt, long sleeve, and a hoodie, and a whole bunch of different colors as well. So head on over to markdice.com or click the link in the description below and check them out.